I wanted to talk about the point of no return that humanity seems to be. It's kind of scary. I live in the mountains, and there's a high possibility of sustaining ourselves here. But the main threat is the human ecology. I give it quotes like that because it's not really a humane ecology, or else it wouldn't be a threat to our humanity at all. So I really didn't want to dwell on that. I think that makes me sound like a hater of some sort, but it's like, no, we're looking at a fact of that there's two types of people to be found here. One of them is the human being and or has become enlightened. How about that? And the other one has yet to become. They are either yet to be converted or just to open up and become. See, that's the main curriculum here. I like to repeat that, every once in a while to people. It's important to repeat ourselves, even though we have evolution that doesn't require us, and we don't want to do the revolution. We want to evolve. Evolution. If there's an R there, it means it's redoing it. And it's like, well, how long do we think that we're going to be able to redo scenarios before something else pops out as a scenario that says, you know what, you people aren't learning, and this is going like nowhere quick. I have my cat right here. She's so wonderful and beautiful. Right, you just saw her in the beginning. What's going on here? Pardon me. I wanted to be on the film here while she's playing whatever she's doing. She sits in her box there and she plays with her ribbon, and she's the boss, right? But anyway, it's really important to bond with all life form, especially your animals and everything. We have a problem with a non-presence here, and that's why that most of you are watching this video is because you like your narcissism subject matter, and that's precisely what narcissism is the non-present, non-human society. And I say that every bit of all of them can be cured. You won't hear that from any of the people that are telling us about these things, and if you look closely, mainly they are men. In society, what sticks out in the mainstream is a man there, and when it gets very touchy subject matter, when, I hate to say this, minute 3 and 33 seconds, I'll say it. Well, it's a very touchy subject matter because if you exclude the leaders away from mankind, which are women, kind of late on that, but yeah, then we're talking about lacking intelligence and, in fact, hijacking. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about there. You know, women are not talking about it. In fact, when they do, God, why did I get on this fucking subject matter? Yeah. There's something happening with Mars in Cancer. Let's talk about that, sidetrack it, because I'm not ready for the mob today, and too late, Shauna. You've been mobbed upon a long time ago. And how do you like that you're just noticing it now? I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm glad to have escaped most of it. There's just a huge masking going on, right? Like, as to what exactly is happening here. And I back away from the subject matter of women being treated like a doormat. Really, they do it themselves, I'd say. It's a big problem that we have is the lopsidedness of the organism and or the potential human being here, that most of them turn out screwed up somehow. Like what I'm talking about is the narcissism thing, where, oh my God, you guys, oh my God. So I don't want to talk about this because it makes me sound in a certain way, like I'm a hater, and that maybe depopulation is a great idea. And it's like, no, what I mean is maybe women should pay attention a little bit more, yeah, okay, so how does population happen in the first place? See, it is a weird subject matter to bring up as far as if you are a woman, the very part of the organism that makes or breaks whether or not a population is here, all she has to do is practice taking birth control, which in history, babes, she did. She made her own birth control remedies as well as medicines in her kitchen. If it's not just the food that we would be eating that would keep us healthy and be like as good as a drug, but no, she's got her herbal remedies down, which birth control was one of them. And they said the Roman Catholic, why am I talking about this? The Roman Catholic Church set out to just to get your brains to function a little bit. They set out to kill the women not too long ago, what, 600 years ago or something? It's called the witch hunts. And they killed a bunch of these women who were practicing medicines in their kitchens. They stirred up cauldrons. This is what I'm doing, stirring a cauldron. They called them witch hunts. Through propaganda, through somehow that they would give everybody a bulletin, like this is how you're supposed to think about it. And there's already a lot of weird stuff happening in the world already. And so it's just pushed to do that. I don't know, some fucking great idea to take over the leaders. Back to the subject matter of the 7 minutes ago that I brought up. That you see mainly something has left it up to men to stand up even for their own disease. And they actually, Sam Vaknin and some of the other ones, babes, you can tell that it's like, well, these people are not curable until they find the cure. And I'm not saying that women are the cure, although I happen to think there's some natural order of things that's going on that the church happened to fucking take, and they flipped it around, babes. And they reversed it. So when you hear natural order things there, you hear their version, which is to put the man on top, which is a woman can handle a lot of crap, and she does. Not like a man can. See, this is how that it happens, that a lopsided can happen. I mean, if you just think with me a little bit, I'm not making any of this shit up, but there's a deep insecurity. See, the organism itself that is comprised of both men and women as one, scientific, let's just do pure science here, folks. Getting all backed into a corner here because of idealizations and what else? Being bigotry or bias. It's like, no, did you look at the sciences here? And if they aren't one, then that gives me a headache. You know what I mean? I can't think of that any longer. Because they need to become aware of that they live together here. They can't have one without the other. I mean, if they really wanted to. See, there's where the woman stirring up her birth control in the kitchen, which was high controversy, see, she was doing that to make the place of sex safe. I don't know why I'm talking about this. But we do have Mars in Cancer, which rules sex. Mars rules sex, and then in Cancer, it rules the feelings, our intuition, the mother, the moon, our emotional bodies. It's so sensitive there. Mars is not doing well in Cancer. I'll tell you right now, I'm a Mars ruled person, and it's like, well, I'm handling it okay. It's interesting. I think we should slow down, because there's all these good aspects to Mars in the sky for us all. In Cancer, it happens to be trining the Piscean stellium. It happens to be benefiting really well from that. And so humanity is, even though they're going through some domestic violence by whom? Shauna, why do you keep mentioning domestic violence? How do you like America and the way that they're handling you, your just where you live. It's not that you own anything near Jennifer Aniston's house or any of the people that worked as a slave colony there for those people. There were neighborhoods, and then there were the outskirts of the stars who they all agreed to have that place burned. You can bet. Because why? They elbowed up with each other. What does that mean? They are a social society that has been privatized. Their money, they realize we can't own any of this, but this money is all ours if we put it all together with these people, civilization controllers who have a great idea. Zuckerberg and who else? Elon Musk and Trump and all these people who have billions and billions of dollars, and they're kind of all competing, right? Trump is a fucking dangerous person because he's actually impoverished as a monetary person. I don't know. All of us are. All of them are. Not us. Whoever thinks it's money that runs the place, which no, it's power over people. And the more money you have, the more you're going to be able to just take that over somehow, some way. And you wonder how they do it, how complicated it might be. No, they found a technology, a way of doing things by using just, sorry, I'm trying to get an angle of where, I don't know, ones and zeros, your on-off signal. They have translated that from every bit of our lives, and just what has been going on. It's safe to say for at least 100 years, however long. See, that sounds like computerization, right? And it is, basically. It's a binary processor that is operating on black and white, just ones and zeros. They just get a blip of an on and off signal. And, they don't like the off signal. They want you to be on, turned on to them. If you turn it off to them, then it's a hunt. They hunt you down, and you can find that kind of operating inside of people more and more. It's just this programming that installs as fear or love. Really, the fear is the off signal for the human being, for the yeah, it's hard to get into this. See, I've never really got into this passage. See, now I'm breaking off, and sorry about losing it, but that was a complete channel. And we're going to be able to explain this better and better, especially to explain explain to the narcissist how that the world works, as far as your leaders and stuff. It's the more technological they get, the more that they're refining their ability. They've already done it to a point where you have no idea how much has been done, because the time that you see computerization here and you start seeing it going, it's been long since 100 years before, or even 200, that they've been computerizing algorithmically through the on and off blips your life and what precisely is going on. The more and more that they militantly take over the organism through what? Well, starvation, food, genocide. They who are they? Well, see, I don't want to say that it's any one race, white race or anything like that. See, if it is a white race, then there's a reason why that they are enslaved first and possessed first to act as the way they do. See, very few, and I would dare say, babes, it's the women. If you can imagine, they're the ones like kind of holding it together at the house, and while their man goes out and kills 50,000 buffalo and fucking gets their gold necklace to kill more Indians or whatever. And that happens in every single fucking nation, which is weird. That's kind of strange. Isn't there a more peaceful way to move? See, if it was woman ran, you'd bet there is, darn it! I'm getting pissed because it just looks like something has gone on where, okay, we're going to give that side of the organism the benefit of a doubt and say, no, you have been hijacked by your own fear. It's really insecurity. They just suffer from it readily. It's a fucking, I don't know, how are we going to fucking get that, the lopsidedness of that out? And now I'm seeing a vision of you abandon the extremities or the extremes of the sexes, and I don't mean it as just get rid of your genitals and blend in and look at like one. Although, babes, my history, a lot of people still say it sometimes. They come on here and they say, are you a man or a woman? It's like, well, I'm somebody who doesn't wear makeup. I'm a woman that doesn't wear makeup, and I'm probably a man who doesn't build themselves up with an ego. If you really knew the science behind your body, what was really going on, it's not me making this up. Science says, it's always said this, that, okay, if you're a woman, you are 51% woman, but you're 49% man. You're a woman on the outside. You probably see you have genitals. You're able to reproduce, and that's a heavy-duty fucking thing to be able to do. See, I would say that that position right there, see, you can say it plainly like this. Women have children here. Men don't. And then what am I going to do? Get stoned and tomahawked for that? Because if I use just the right language, just cut and dried. Out of the two, women have children here. Men don't. Men can have a circle jerk. And women can say, well, I wonder which one is awake enough that I can stop taking this birth control remedy. You bet. And I blame it on her that all of the fertility banks or clinics have built up and up and up and all of this. How do we figure out the problem of her not being able to get pregnant? Well, there's something called birth control, and then she's the leader. She has a right to stop reproduction of what could be just a fucking animal, man. He has to wake up. And see, this is, I'm getting like, this is the obvious here. I hate to mention it, it's like, well, we're not quite doing the Mars-Pluto thing, you know, opposition, like to light up the body and really go, yay, that's the truth, and get all zingy about it, because that's what the truth does for us, you know, when you hit it like a nail on the head there. But, yeah, that's the religion, that's the ritual here, sorry, that's the ritual, is sex. There's two, one of them brings the other one up out of the funk. Which one do you think that is? See, I would say both of them have a kind of profound responsibility towards each other. Maybe it's a school of some sort. I'm getting like the little chilly willies right now. Good thing that we can't see what's really going on in my clothes. But boy, God, I didn't want to talk about this. I really didn't. I happen to think that, though, it's like, well, okay, that's something. Wow, what, really? Yeah, let's get into this movie. How they really did blow it out of proportion. You know, just forget about that there's men and women here and that sex is here and also, and then how does civilization pop up at all? It's just kept. It's fucking kept like a fucking, like a cattle crawl or a bunch of chickens in a coop because they have to wake up. To what? Well, wake up to the leaders here. And humans are different than chickens. See, lions are different than chickens. And if you knew about lions, you see, it's not like chickens. Chickens will see the male is the ruler there. I don't know. Just look at the species of animals here. Did you know that in lions, in the lion's pack, it's the female that's the leader. They're the ones who are doing the superpowering there, and the males get outcasted because they have some kind of thing where they'll try to eat and stay in power, and so the females have to guard themselves, and who knows when that fucking species of whatever that alien is, it's really an extraterrestrial, there, is going to evolve. Really, it's just, who knows what's happening here, but welcome to the fantasy that we could be in, that if you just imagine, you can imagine it really, but it's wondrous, it's amazing, it's marvelous, it's beautiful that we have all of this life form to, I would dare say, dip into, and let's make something out of it. You know what I mean? I would love to be half bird and half human. You know, it's like, I don't need a car. I just speed off I just start flapping my wings, babe, and I get out of here. You know? Be more advanced than whatever the hell they have crawling around, wondering why we have to crawl around so much. It's like, well, maybe you forgot to switch DNA with a fucking antelope or something, and that's why you cannot seem to move. Anyway, hey, how are you? Hi. I hope so. Anyway, what else are you gonna do here? You know what I mean? You must anesthetize. Make sure you choose the right escape away from what? It's not escape from reality. It's really escape back into reality. You know, you're escaping the darn world, which is an overlay, and you're like, oh God, really? Poor kids, poor everybody. What am I doing here? I'm being protected big time, and I plan on being further protected, and I plan on keep on communicating. There's a big problem with communications that we have to straighten out, and luckily, I'm like on top of it. I am so on top of it. Otherwise, I didn't spend 12 years on social media typing and stuff. Um, for a good reason. There's a profound reason. I'm going to come up with something out of it besides we're just going blind and fucking our brains going to rot because of the EMF waves alone. We know all about that, babe. The chemtrails, the the baby, the real thing behind that science is the nanoparticulate matter and the metals that are inducted, that they can control these. I've seen clouds rush towards other clouds, and I'm like, okay, that's what they're talking about. See, I live in Southern California, not far from LA, and see, this is where the SpaceX is, and this is where the space agencies ended up, and not that everybody else isn't doing it. It's a global presence, by the way. The ones who are playing, let's do space, Elon Musk, and those people. I wanted to talk about this mainly. Those kinds of people. I'm gonna make this a long video. It's gonna go on Wednesday. I'm putting a sneak video in on Wednesday. Hi, how are you? It's Wednesday, February 6th or something. Anyway, or 5th. Anyway, we're talking about Elon Musk and those people, Donald Trump, all of them that are affiliated with the past people that were here that really, they were real scientists that now they were using their technology and their, it's very, it's channeled, first of all, those people were unsuspecting people. But see, there's an alien base here that robs from all of the people that are like shamans or inventors or whoever does tap into what's really happening here as an experience of what? Well, we hardly know, right? We see the pyramids standing there and we see like that there's much more than what meets the eye, right? Especially here in the United States, the way that we're purely fed. Oh my God, it's a lot of the world though. There's that contagion and or plague of academia creating cerebral narcissists across the board, and this is what has made it possible that we can see those chemtrails every day, and we can see all this other stuff. We can dial in on like, oh, they just poisoned the water. They're doing something around here that is like very it's blasphemy when it comes to, well, you guys, there's a community here that should know why they're here, like living in intention. When I'm talking about here, I'm talking about in these mountains. Every place has a profound opportunity to self-sustain somehow, some way. They have a profound opportunity, really responsibility. Do they take the freedom, because that's what responsibility is, to figure out what they can do here and then contribute back into a whole that begins, like, you don't even need money. Just contribute. That's what Tesla was trying to talk about. He's like, wait a minute. You should hear these people really, when you interview them and you talk to them, they really want to talk about their benevolence. Like, from their point of view, the benevolence is like, no, why don't you work it like this? It's like, and they are up against the rabbit hole, is what it's called. You have to be. You can still be a great inventor and just throw all of that stuff down the rabbit hole. See, Aries, Neptune and Aries coming up, and the changes that are going to keep going, humanity needs to communicate, especially they will. See, I was talking to you about how that the language has to change. Um, if anything, know what you're saying. Know what you're saying. This morning, a big thing for me, and I will start the trend. I will. You see, if I'm on here and we can start a trend through this, I will do this with this is, don't say belief anymore. Don't say believe. Say be with. See, it's not right. Belief is a mind-orientated thing because there's two types here. You have mental cases, you have narcissists, you have, I hate to say it, you have men, but no, women could also be a mental case. Fully encapsulated minds. And then you have hearts here. You have bodies. You have a bodily presence, man. And that is two types. So one of them, I don't want to get off my lesson here, is being with things. You be with things, the heart. Nothing new that I'm talking about here. And I'm like dead serious now. I'm like, guys, you guys stop saying believe. It doesn't matter because it doesn't. You've been saying this for 200 years as far as we know. In fact, since religions have come up and start saying believe, I believe. Because that's a mind orientation thing. That's all it can be. Is there a be with in the house? Now that is a real Christ consciousness right there. And is. Yes, I am the truth. I am the light. I am the way. Excuse me, narcissist. There isn't anything before me or after me. I am it. Why can't you dial in on the here and nowness of it? I'm pretty sure I was in front of one the other day, and I don't know what it was. Really, there's just people that are really afraid of how solid you can be as just as a I was going to say a non-self, but we're going like this, and we're seeing a difference. That it's a reversal. See, there is the superior mind, and then there's the lowercase mind. Yes, there's the superior ego, and then there's a lowercase ego. It's the same thing, And so, I'm pretty sure the lowercase ego kind of does not want to admit and look at it head on that, that's my the highest version of my possibility is right there. If in case you don't know love, then now you are one, and there isn't a mystery. You know the problem of mind, and you know the fact of reality. And it's not a mystery. See, that's where you're getting to know thyself. And when you start doing that authentically, see, you'll never know a more blinder person, self of a person than your narcissist. They are non-self-reflecting. Non-self-reflecting. They don't see that they don't know. See, some of us can exhibit this quality temporarily because, and I found myself exhibiting it, and I still know. I'm pretty sure it's like, no, you went inward and you got really self-conscious about yourself to the point of denial, when really, no, that's not really what happened. See, you're being fucked with here. You really are. And you're around people that do not want the best for you. No, I'm in a dangerous neighborhood. Half of them are innocent. They're off the hook as far as Jesus Christ or whoever knows the truth about how that they have yet to wake up. They just have never been given the chance. And who knows if they will ever. See, this is where we're talking about malignant cases. No, it's staunch. They're malignant because they hold ground in such a way that they put that fucking American flag up and it's waving, and their helmet is on and strapped, and now you're looking down the fucking barrel, baby! Oops, that's a hell of a religion.